Oh. Oh boy. Oh no. That's really not good. Welcome back everyone, what's going on? I am out here working on the Jeep again. It is a bit later at night. I was digging back into the brakes before I ordered them in, just so that I could get the rotors off and turned. I took the hubs back apart and looked back at this assembly, and I think I've got it figured out now. So basically, here is my Warn locking hubs, and this assembly is what you twist by hand, and that goes over this guy, which is held in by a spring clip. That assembly goes then again on top of this, and there's basically two things going on here. There's this nut on the outside, and then there's a standard nut behind that with a washer. And I just think I got this loosened up with some vice grips. Obviously, there is a better tool for the job for that, made for that, but I'm actually really surprised I was able to get these on. Look at how far I had to space those apart. So I'm gonna unscrew that the rest of the way and see what else is going on with these hubs. He's only playing a game. So yeah, there it is, the big nut behind it, and you can definitely tell someone has been in there before with the wrong tool. I might just go ahead and full send it with a screwdriver and a hammer.
Look at that. Yeah, she's torqued down the spec there, bud. No, bud, she ain't gonna fall off.
There she is. I don't think I've seen a nut that thick before.
Ooh, nut! Nut! Wow!
Oh, hold up. Ayo. 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 Here's the wheel bearing. It's interesting. Wow. I have never seen anything like this before. Honestly, this is not bad at all. I have seen way worse brake drums on cars before. It looks actually pretty good. I mean, nothing's really galled or scored. I mean, it just looks like it was gotten at by, you know, someone else who's been in there before, but yeah, really not that bad all around. I'm gonna end up replacing the cylinder on this side and the other because I know the other side needs to be replaced. But yeah, overall, not horrible for brakes that my grandpa doesn't think he ever serviced. So I saw the wheel bearings were listed as just these on Rock Auto, but I didn't know exactly how they went together. So it's interesting to see that all you have to do really is just replace the actual bearing like that, and it just slips right in there to the hub. Another thing I found really interesting is this wheel hub design, and just that it's like built into the brake drum. I've never really seen anything like that before. Considering that, the wheel hub and the bearings, I'm actually surprised at how good a shape everything seems. Like, the grease is a little dirty because this really moves around a lot, but if I check side to side, there's like no play in that side to side. So, and that seems like it would be the most important thing. the camera cut off as I was taking off the last nut, but yeah, it was really easy. I just had to take that screwdriver again, smack it, and it came right loose, and then there was a washer under that, and then the ball bearing and the hub assembly all just slides right off. Ow! Alright, so before we can do anything more, we're gonna need some parts. So let me just... It's funny, that usually works. Oh, there we go. Alright, so my camera keeps filling up on space, but basically, I got this with the piston off, and kind of screwed some stuff up. So that's not good at all. I guess that would explain why the brakes aren't working on that side. Good grief. Sick. So basically, a lot of things are going wrong tonight. Nothing is fitting. All of the parts that I got are totally crap. Everything is wrong. And this really sucks. Let me just show you guys what's going on. Okay, so first of all, we broke the steel line on the hose for this, and so now we gotta get a whole new system for that. Also, the rubber brake lines that I bought don't fit. As soon as I got these guys off, I noticed that they are different. Look at how the bleeder valve is at the top of that circle right there. Bleeder valve on the new pistons are above. And also, this circle is way smaller than this one, so it doesn't even fit under the new plate. That's fine, right? I can deal with new pistons, but brake shoes, right? Here's the old brake shoe, that's great. Here is one of the new ones, and if you compare them, just like, let's flip it around. If you just give them a quick glance right here. The new one is obviously way bigger than the old one. Spent a lot of money on a lot of parts, and it freaking sucks that it feels like none of it is fitting or working right. It's a bummer. I thought I could get something done with what I still had. Hopefully all of the specs on the hoses will still be okay for the radiator, but I'm still gonna try to make do with what I've got. And even though this is a big setback, it's okay, because I can still try to make do with the pistons that I have, and the brake shoes really aren't that horrible. They still have plenty of life left on them. So I'm gonna try to clean them up and get them the best I can, and get it back together, because we're gonna be doing a whole rebuild anyway in the future. So I noticed that one side of the piston here is sticking, so I go to put it in the vise, and as you can see, I made some progress with it. I slip and it pops, and I check down and my finger is bleeding. So ah man, it's a good night. It's a very good night. Yeah, I reckon that's not supposed to look like that. Pretty good. So actually, I think the universe is just using this as a sign to tell me to give these old pistons a new shot, because I was able to hone out this piston, this cylinder right here, and it actually looks pretty good now. You know, there's just a little bit of discoloration. I didn't go crazy on it, but man, like the rubber, really not horrible at all. You can still see like a lot of the print. Still very like flexible, and this is the worst of the two actually. This one's even better. So here's one of the pistons back together, and you know, it really did turn out pretty well. The only thing I'm worried about are these outer dust seals. Yeah, this guy right here, not too great. If I start having issues down the line, I can deal with that. So yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a wrap for tonight, so I will pick it up tomorrow, bright and early, to try to get a good start on this radiator, now that I pretty much have the driver's side of the brakes done. This silicone ball hone and coat this with motor oil and see if we can smooth this out, because I can't find the appropriate tool for this job. It's somewhere lost in my garage.
So I'm using the appropriate tool for cleaning euphonium valves.
It is the next day, and man, I have already had a lot happen. I had to take the entire side apart that I put back together last night because I forgot to put the spring into the piston. And yeah, that was a whole deal. And then I got the other piston back together right now. A couple of the seals don't look great, but I think it'll get by for now. We'll see how that fares over time. But now they're free and they actually work, so after I get that new hardline, I should be able to put it back together and have some brakes that actually work. But for now, let's tackle these hoses and everything that entails. Got the lower radiator hose off and all the coolant drained. And I managed not to make too bad of a mess as compared to last time, so I've still got plenty of coolant in the bucket there. But yeah, pretty good this time, so I'm gonna head and clean off that fitting and try to see what I can do about taking off that water pump. Oh boy. Oh no. That's really not good. I think this is good enough sign for me to stop messing with the water pump for today. So I'm just gonna go ahead and clean off that fitting. Since I know the water pump still works, it doesn't feel bad, and I haven't heard any issues with it, I'm fine with not replacing it now. I just wanted to kind of get it out of the way as a maintenance item, but yeah, I think it's best to just leave it alone for now. There's your thermostat. I think we are good so far. Looks like everything is all buttoned up, so I'm gonna top off the coolant and cross my fingers here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a cracked heater core. Nothing is going right today. Everything keeps going bad. This sucks. Well, I'm glad to say I've gotten past the dramatic stage of pressing this whole assembly together without anything kinking or snapping, and man, that's surprising. Looks good. Well, it looks like we're doing pretty good here. I started off with a leak there, but the fitting was loose, so I tightened it up, pushed the brakes a couple times, and the pedal is already like super stiff without doing any bleeding. So yeah, everything looks to be really good. So I'm gonna put it all back together and then try to take her around and see if she stops. Woo! Took her a second. Yeah, not ideal conditions for a test drive. Well, the problem is not fixed, and we've got a steamy mess under the hood. Great. Got her off. Alright, it is a few days later, and I have got the heater core, the water pump off, and right now I'm just waiting for the new heater core, some other stuff to show up in the mail, and I'm going to slap it all on and see if that at least fixes the coolant issue, because I cannot do anything with this Jeep until it actually holds freaking coolant in it, so. Green light. Got the goods. Well, should work. Remember why I came out here in the first place. Oh boy, we're tapping into the good stuff. Oh yeah, old coolant from my truck. That's the first time I filled it up that high without crap coming out of it, so. That's odd. I guess when you don't have leaks for the coolant to come out of, you don't have coolant leaks. It's good to know. Wow. Even look at this. Ooh. Got a fan that works? Anyway, folks, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. I know the end of it was kind of all over the place, but I did just want to get track of like all those extra parts that I put on there. Yeah, hopefully when I have a phone that's not limited to like 5 seconds of video, I can get some better footage. But yeah, I'm kind of happy with how this turned out. It's got, I think, a little bit of a leak still at kind of where the intake manifold is, but pretty much all of it is gone now. Not enough to be like losing fluid. I think the radiator's cold enough. I should be able to open it. Yeah. And looks like the level might have gone down a little bit, just like bleeding air out of the system and stuff. But yeah, overall this is it's exciting. It's nice to see.